No, sir. You go eat your own food. Stop eating Martins. Don't be slick. I know what you're doing. Loitering around his bowl so when I turn my face, you partake of his feast. You have your own little feast. You have your own little feast. Yes, you do. So you eat your own food. Yeah, what did I say? No, sir. Whew. Training a little cat is a pain in the butt. But he gonna learn. He was perched on my table this morning. Again, right on the edge. I thought I was gonna puke. And I know some cat owners might be like, really, Mel? Then you shouldn't have cats if you're not gonna let them have free roam. My kitty cats do have free roam, okay? But there are places that are not kitty approved. My kitchen, my dining table, any surface where I prepare food or eat food, no. You can lay all over my sofas, the beds, any room in the house, whatever you want to do. They get in the bathtub and play. But my kitchen, my dining surfaces are off limits. And let me tell y'all why. For those of you that might not get it, most of the world gets it. But would you let somebody change their baby's diaper on your dining table? No, same thing. Kitty paws have poop residue, kitty litter dust. Who knows what else they've been picking up when they roam around outside or whatnot. Ain't gonna happen. But yeah, I walked in and I fed him and I'm puttering around in the kitchen. I turn around, he's perched on the edge of my table. I'm like, oh no. So I had to bust out the Lysol. It's been a busy morning. It is Wednesday morning. Happy Wednesday, by the way. I just started in on it. But anyway, my day is not going to turn out the way I had it planned. I had a doctor's appointment today that I'm going to have to cancel here in about an hour and a half. My doctor's not in town, and I have way too much to go over and way too much to discuss with my doctor. I don't want to use another one there. I don't want anything lost in translation, lost in notes. I trust my doc, okay? And y'all know I'm going through all kinds of weirdnesses. I need to speak to my doctor and see what she suggests. I'm sure she's going to suggest I go get checked out for Meno. But in regards to my diabetes and my medication and all that stuff, I need to speak to her. So I'm going to cancel that appointment, which is fitting because now it gives me free time to find the contractor who did my air. I think my drain pan, the little pipes might be clogged with sludge and grossness because my carpet is soaked in the living room. Parts of my carpet are soaked, and I figured out it's condensation from the AC unit. The AC is running fine. The house is nice and cool. But something is not allowing the water to drain from the drain pan. And it happened before with my old unit, and I was able to unclog that one. But this one, the way it's set up and made, I can't get my little snake in there. So I hope it doesn't get too hot today because I turned the air off. Yeah, I was walking across to go to the bathroom yesterday, and I felt wet under my feet, and I automatically assumed new kitty had peed. So I was about to go off, and then I realized something's not right. So yeah, sure enough, there is just leaking behind my kitty shelf. The whole area around where my unit is in the wall is wet. So that caused me a whole lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, but I cannot remember who the heck put in my new system. So I have to go through my paperwork and find my invoice and call them out to come and do a maintenance on it. And hopefully that's not too expensive, but it's got to get done. But yeah, my anxiety was really bad last night because it's been dripping all night. well, all day and all night. And last night, late, I was like super stressed about it, and just like, I swear, when it rains, it pours. It's just like, I don't need one more thing. And water leaks are a trigger for me. I've heard that for so many years. Oh, be careful, and triggers. And sometimes even on some of my videos, I'll put on here trigger warning in case, you know, I talk about or show something that might set some, you know, some of you guys off. But I don't use it personally for myself until I realized yesterday, as I'm stressing out, I have certain triggers when it comes to my house. One of them I found out when the roof went bad, before I had the roof replaced, when my living room ceiling almost started leaking. I got the water stain and everything. When my roof almost started leaking, I realized I have triggers when it comes to my home. One being roaches, and one being leaks. Disrepair, but more importantly, leaks. And it's because we grew up poor. Okay, we grew up poor, and we had rats and roaches. It didn't matter how much my mom, poor thing, tried to fumigate and set out rat traps and everything. It was just traumatizing. The rats and the traps and cockroaches crawling on the walls and stuff. It's like, it didn't matter what she tried to do. It was never bug free. Now, I've never seen a roach in the house, but I have seen them big old water bugs, and I see them especially outside when it rains a lot. Like right now, there's a whole bunch of them out there. And my plants and all over the yard, they're everywhere. It's freaking disgusting. And every now and then, one of them suckers will walk up in here. Okay? And I know what it is. I know it's not because I'm gross and nasty and I don't keep a decent house. But it upsets me. It makes me feel absolutely disgusting and violated. A friggin' bug just makes me feel like my domain has been violated. That's one of my triggers. Roaches. Not lizards, frogs, snakes, flies, the occasional wasp, because they've all come into my house. A water bug that looks like a giant roach. Ain't having it. It makes my skin crawl. It makes me feel like my whole house just needs to be burned down. I swear. And I realized when the roof went bad that the possibility of my home structure being wonky petrified me. It scared me. It made me feel so uneasy, so unsafe. And water in general, look how I get triggered. There I go with that word again. Look how that flood out in the front bothers me. It just really, really irks me. And now we have the situation with the air. Anytime I've had a drip or a leak in a sink, it feels like my house is raggedy. It feels like my house is gonna crumble down around me, because that's what we grew up with. We grew up in a home that honestly probably wasn't even inhabitable. But my mom did the best she could. But yeah, I don't want my house to be falling apart. I don't. Homeownership sucks. But anyway, how do I go from that to phew? Anywho, I was in here this morning, getting little dude's lunch ready and washing my dishes from last night. I knocked out last night, guys. I don't know what the heck. I guess it was the stress. It was the stress of me worrying, whatever. And then the bad dreams. Oh my gosh, guys. The bad dreams. Oh, but anyway, I was in here and I decided, let me go on ahead and cut up this watermelon and this pineapple before they get funky. I had a watermelon blow up on my counter once. I didn't know that when a watermelon goes bad, it creates gases and it will start seeping and bubbling and hissing, and then it'll pop. And I've been traumatized ever since then. So I bought the watermelon, Monday? I don't remember. And I went ahead and cut it up. And I had all this rind left. And I was like, I have not had lemon rind candy in forever. One of my friend's moms used to make it. She was from Mexico, and she used to make all of these fruit rind, fruit peel, fruit-based candies. She would not let her kids eat Hershey bars, M&Ms, Twix, none of that. She's like, The sweetest thing she would allow them to buy was ice cream when the ice cream truck would pass by, but she didn't let them have, the candy we grew up with. She would prefer to make them a healthier version. And she would make these coconut candies and these mango pops and all this stuff. But one of my favorite candies that she made was some candied watermelon rind. And I remember going over to their house in the summer, in the heat of summer. We're all playing and riding bikes up and down the street. We get thirsty, okay? We get hungry. And the water hose ain't cutting it. Yay, being out there drinking hot water out of a nasty plastic tube ain't cutting it. So we'd go in, and I remember walking into the back kitchen door and seeing out in the backyard these tables of these colorful little whatevers. And I'm like, what is that? And, oh, my mom's making candy. And I remember walking over there thinking, this is crazy. Candy? This is candy? But a day or two later, we're back at her house, and the candy's done. She dries the candy out in the heat. And I tasted this and I tasted that, and the watermelon rind. It's equivalent now as an adult, and I've seen some things. It's the equivalent of, like, are you all familiar with, everyone's familiar with gummy bears, but they have gummy snakes and gummy worms. And they have a brand called Trolley, where it's a gummy worm, but it has kind of like sugar crystals on it. Those are so good, right? It's kind of like that. Depending on what you flavor it with, because she would make lemon, she would make cinnamon ones. I like just the plain ones, which didn't really taste like watermelon. They were just fresh. I liked those. But that's the closest things I can compare them to, is like those Trolley long, sugar dusted gummy worms and stuff. But it's really good. So I was like, I don't want to throw away the rinds. And I flashed back to that. So I'm going to go ahead and try to. I've never done it. It looks really easy. I went online and it seems fairly easy. Some tried and trues, old schools, actually still dry them outside for 4 to 5 hours in the heat, in the top of the heat, top of the day. I don't know if I want to do that because I don't have anything to cover them with to keep the bugs and the birds and everything away from them. I used to have some mesh covers for food for picnics, and I don't know what the heck I did with them. Bobo. He has so much energy. He's in there doing something. But anyway, so I'm gonna attempt to dry them inside. If I can find something to cover over them, then I might put them outside. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm gonna try to make watermelon rind candy if y'all want to come along for that ride. And then I'm also gonna pickle some onion and radish and cucumber. Not pickle. I want to pepper. I want to jalapeno some of those. I usually just dump random things in old pickle juice, and it's delicious. But I have a craving, and have been having a craving, for the peppered cucumbers that this taco spot that we go to gives you with your order. Oh my gosh, you guys, if y'all are local, I need you all. If y'all like street tacos, if y'all like the real deal Mexican tacos, tacos de barbacoa, de bistec, de tripa, stuff like that, I need you all, if you're local, to Google Estrella Bakery /taco. If you were to put Estrella Bakery, it'll pop up. So, if y'all want to come along for the watermelon rind, let's go. Sliced and ready, I went ahead and put it in my pitcher because I'm going to soak it overnight just to kind of get a little softness going. But it's just plain water and then a little bit of salt. And because I didn't want to stir and slosh around my rind's too much. I'm going to go ahead and mix the salt in this little bit of water and then pour it in there and just give it one quick whoosh whoosh. And then we should be good. That's going to go in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow we start the cooking process. And then it takes a couple days. And I remember it took a couple days because I'm telling you, we'd be out there playing and riding bikes and stuff. And she'd have her little racks outside in the backyard. And I remember it was days before they'd be in these little plastic bags on her counter in the kitchen. But let me get my salt. We'll salt it, give it a good whoosh whoosh. Okay, so to my water. I don't have measurements. I don't know. Just do some salt. Stir it up. Get it nice and dissolved. You're going to be boiling this in sugar water for quite some time. So any salt that's going to be all up in here is going to come out. It has something to do with the whole drying process after the salt and all. But I'm going to go ahead and bloop. I just made a mess. I'm going to go ahead and pour my salt water in there and give my little rinds a stir. And I remember her mom saying that if you left the red on there, it made for a sweeter candy. So I definitely left the red in there. So nice and stirred. I'm going to put the top on that and get it in the fridge. Okay, so now we are going to make this jalapeno, cucumber, onion, radish concoction. So good, you guys, with tacos. Just, if you have yourself any kind of taco, any kind of enchilada, any kind of Mexican fare, real good with nachos, to have this little pickled thing on the side, so delicious. I love stuff like this. Yet for some reason I don't like kimchi. And you're like, probably like, Mel, gosh, would you focus on one thing? Why are you talking about kimchi now? Because as I was prepping my little ingredients, I flashed back to childhood. I was telling you guys about my little friend with the candy. We had a Korean little friend, Korean family that lived on our house. And that mama was always trying to feed us because the mamas fed. If you came to our house and we had enough to share, we would. So we were always eating at everybody else's house. Somebody's mama was always trying to feed you. We didn't have much, but the mamas were always trying to feed you. Even if it was Kool-Aid popsicles, where you would get your ice trays. Y'all remember the metal ice trays with their handle that you had to, my 50-somethings, 60-somethings. You had to hand crank that friggin' handle on the metal ice trays. I hated those. I hated them. I got so many cuts right here from them stupid things because we could hardly ever pop them open. But anyway, if it was something as simple as a Kool-Aid popsicle made in those friggin' ice trays, Kool-Aid and chips, just something. But back in the day, if your parents were not at home, if there was not an adult at home, you could not have any kids in the house. So on the weekends, or anytime you had a parent at home and y'all would be in the house, I friggin' guarantee you, somebody's mama, somebody's daddy, somebody's tia, tío, uncle, nana, nunu, nino, somebody was going to try and feed you. But, yeah, that's why I was flashing back to all those awesome little kids on Wake Street in West Dallas growing up. What were their names? I can't remember their last names. But they were such a sweet family. And they didn't speak English, you guys. The adults at all. The kids, of course, going to school picked up a few words. But at that time, when they moved in, when we were growing up together, those kids did not speak English. We did a whole lot of sign language. A whole lot of hand grabbing and dragging. But anywho, and I think that had something to do with why we didn't eat. Because we didn't know what the heck we were eating. And they couldn't explain to us what the ingredients were. We're little. What the heck do we know about kimchi and all these dishes? Like, as an adult, I'm like, you idiot, because I love that food now. Not kimchi, but I love that food now. So I'm just like, you friggin' idiot. You were being served delicious food and you were like, I don't know what that is. But they always had sherbet. I remember that. They had push-ups, those push-up sherbet pops. And desserts like that were kind of rare for us because, I mean, every now and then you'd get a quarter and you'd be lucky if the ice cream man came, if your parents or whatever were lucky enough to have a quarter to give you before they went off to work or wherever. For the ice cream truck, for ice cream, you know, 25 cents, I remember. But we didn't have it. Maybe we had a carton of ice cream once every couple months in the house and whatever. But they used to have push pops. I remember that. So we had push pops at their house. But anyway, I totally got sidetracked. And as I'm sitting here getting my vinegar and my veggies ready, I'm like, why don't you like kimchi? But anywho, let me show you guys. It's just so simple if y'all want to have this in your refrigerator, because it'll keep for a while, guys. It's vinegar. It'll keep for a while. But I'm going to use what I have on hand. The only thing that I don't have that I usually use is jalapeno. I have jalapenos growing like crazy on my bushes outside. They're not hot, guys. All of this rain zapped out the spice in them like it did once before. I had one batch where they were super, super, super hot. They were delicious hot. But this new batch, the last few that I've tried to use, are not the business. They just taste like a nice bell pepper. So I'm going to use serrano. I picked these up at the grocery store the other day. I'm going to use serrano. The last little sliver of onion that I have, I'm not big about the onion so much as I'm about the cucumber and the radish. But onion is good for flavor. Radishes. And my cuke. Any cucumber will do. I prefer the English cucumber, but I couldn't find any. So, cucumber, radish, onion, pepper of your choice. Serrano will burn a hole in your soul, so be careful with it. I might not use the whole one. Not sure. I don't want to ruin it. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be too hot. You're going to need vinegar. Okay, any kind, distilled or not, don't matter. And agua, okay? So let's get to prepping. Like I said, I'm only going to use one serrano. They're so hot. They're so good though, but they're hot. I'm going to go ahead and leave the seeds in because I want some heat. I don't want to super thin them, but I don't want them super fat either. I don't plan on eating the pepper. I'm just going to need this to create the heat that makes these cucumbers so good. Like I said, I'm just gonna slice these thinly. The onion is not my favorite. I mean, it's in there and it's good and all, but for me personally, it's mainly for the flavor. It's okay, so I think that'll do. Okay, so now we're going to get to the slicing. I couldn't find my little mandolin thing, so I'm going to use this. And I am going to use this sharp edge to slice up my radishes. Hopefully not my fingers, but they have been washed. And I'm glad I remembered I had this thing because I don't know where my little slicer is that I usually use for this kind of crap. I don't know what I did with it. I'm going to cut the tips of my cuke. Just make sure it's washed nice and neat. You don't want to peel it. It stays firmer in the brine if you don't peel it. So let's see what this is going to do with my cuke. I've never used this for my cucumbers. Oh, okay. It's working. Look, it's working so nice. It's kind of shredding some of them a little, but look at that. That's how thin you want them. So delicious. So delicious. I'm going to eat that with a little salt. Okay. So there's my cukes, my radishes, peppers and onions. Now before I start my vinegar, let me go on ahead and start layering in my stuff. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Man, I wish my jar was bigger. I'm going to mess around and touch something with these chile hands and regret having been born. Leave us some room for that vinagre. El vinagre. Necesitamos espacio para el vinagre. No se olvide del vinagre, hombre. Okay, so there's the vegetables. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that so pretty? Okay. Cup of vinegar. Takes me back to my childhood years of dyeing Easter eggs. That smell. Yeesh. Cup of water. Everything. 1 cup water. 1 cup vinegar. Equal part water. Equal part vinegar. And equal part sugar and salt. I'm going to do teaspoon of each. Teaspoon sugar and salt. And then we're going to get it to boiling. There's my salt. And there's my sugar. Okay. Turn the heat on to medium high. Give it a nice stir. Don't come for me for stirring with a metal spoon, guys. I just don't like the idea of vinegar in my wooden spoons, because what if I can't get it out? I've never had it happen before, but I always think it's gonna. So, gonna heat that up to boiling. Then I'm gonna let it cool a little bit. I'm not gonna pour it boiling into the jar, but I'm going to let it cool a little bit, and then I'll pour it in the jar. See, let's stick it in the fridge, and it's good for a month or 2 months. Honestly, I've kept this in there a good 3-4 months before. Now, you can add garlic to it if you want. You can add spices. You can add comino. You can add dill if you want to pickle it. You can do whatever you want to do to it. I just keep it very basic, very simple, because I already have a lot of dilled things going on in the refrigerator. But, man, I've been craving this. I haven't made it in forever. I'm telling you, the first time I tasted it was out of that taco stand. Is it their recipe? No, because it doesn't taste exactly like theirs, but it gives me that Estrella Bakery / taco feel. It's so good. Estrella Bakery, guys. Ain't getting paid for that promotion, but if y'all are local, try it. It's really good. It's the Mexican Panaderia, Mexican Bakery / taco stand. Only thing with their tacos is they may have a menu on the wall, but their menu varies by day. Like, they may say they have tripas and bistec and fajitas, and you go and you order tripas, bistec, and fajitas, and they're like, oh, well, we're out of this and that and that. This is how good it is, okay? Any restaurant who sells out of things is good, okay? So don't get your hopes set on having this particular taco, because when you get there, somebody might have wanted it more than you, and they don't have any more. So, but it's really good. You're not going to be disappointed leaving out of there. But I'm going to let this get to boiling. I'm going to go do a garden run real quick. I have no idea what's been going on out there, and the mindset I've been in lately. Kind of been neglecting it. The last time I was out there, I knew I had to do some work out there, but it's so muddy and so gross, and we're expecting more rain later today. But I'm going to go out there and do a quick yard run. Come with me. Look at this monstrosity. It's not dripping all the way down the driveway like before, but it's still a soggy, boggy mess. You guys, when I tell you, if I were to step into this right now, my toes would be covered in mud. Completely covered. Look at that. Look at how bushy the grass is. I can't keep it low between the constant pouring of water from the meter and the rain. It's just, look at it. It's disgusting. And then I can't really stand in here anyway, because I sink into this mess. When I'm out here with my weed eater and stuff, I sink. Oy, just struggling. Y'all see how I planted some purple hearts around the perimeter of my heart? They seem to be doing okay. But I have neglected them some, like the whole yard. This needs to be redone, the bark and the mulch. Look at my sunflowers, guys. Does anybody know why my sunflowers are doing that? They haven't even bloomed. And some of them are just wasted. Is this the culprit? Is that the culprit? Because things are getting eaten. My beautiful little salvia is still doing well. Lots of little bumblebees pollinating. Doing pollination for the nation. They're everywhere. So sweet. This particular bit of greenery is full of them. I'm so surprised at how fantastic these houseplants are doing out here. They are thriving. With all the rain, I thought for sure they'd have drowned. They love it. Leaves are unfurling, nice and bright. I got one new little rose. I still haven't put these in a pot like I had intended to. My spider plants are growing new babies, which is good because I've been propagating the crap out of the ones back there from last season. But yeah, both of them are growing new babies. No change here. Uh-oh, I see a yellow leaf on my rose bush. What does this mean? I don't know what any of it means. Something is eating my lemon plant. This little guy I thought was gone forever. Look at it. It had one leaf, guys. One leaf. Now look at it. Yeah. Something is eating my lemons. I repotted my mango because it looked pretty sad in its original pot. It seems to be doing okay. Look at this big mamma jamma of a pepper. And I'm telling you guys, they are not hot. Not at all. You might not be able to see it too well because it's all mixed in here. Let me zoom out some. It's all mixed in here with the greenery. But this little ivy is the beauty that I found at Walmart months and months ago for $15. It was gorgeous and I had it in my bedroom. And it started falling apart. All the leaves fell off, guys. You would touch it and boom, you'd have like 10 leaves on the ground. I bought it outside just figuring I'd let it die in the sunshine. And nope, it came back. It came back. It's gorgeous. It's doing so well. Then over here, these Christmas cactuses and stuff are not supposed to like water, and this poor baby has been drowned in all the rain and it is flourishing. I don't get it. Just like my snake plants, they're not supposed to like water. They're not supposed to like being drowned, and I tip the pots and drain them as best as I can, but they are thriving. This rain is doing good with these little guys. This is another plant that's surprising me. Mother-in-law tongues or snake plants do not like to be inundated in water, and that's all this poor little thing has been since I put it out here. It likes it. Maybe I have a freak snake plant because it's got all kinds of new growth happening up in this piece. Here are the propagated spider plants. There's two of them. Hello, 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 hello. My red hot peppers and my bell peppers still there. There's more of the propagated spider plants. Here's my pumpkin plants. I've had to pull a few because between the stray cats, the rain, and the wind, some snapped. But these are the ones that are left. Same with my yellow squash. A few just died off. We're not doing much. But these are flowering. So far I haven't seen any girl buds. All boys. That's the problem I had the last time I tried to grow squash. So I didn't have any females. And the few females I did have, the boy flowers would fall off before they would fertilize. And I got nothing. My carrots died. He follows me out here like Martin does. I had the beginnings of carrots all in here. I don't know if you guys remember, and I don't know what happened. Maybe too much rain. They're gone. There's the other one of my salvias. I put that there to invite pollinators. This was one of my sickly little babies that I thought was gonna die. Look at it. Look at it. It's got blooms. It's gonna grow peppers for me. I don't know if there's gonna be any hot ones, but there's that. And let me show you guys what I'm most excited about right now. A couple things happening. Look, guys. I have beans. Look at that. These are yellow wax beans. I actually have some beans. I'm so happy. This is the squash right next to it that I did not give myself a chance to separate into separate plants. But look at all those flowers. But again, I'm looking and I don't see any girl ones. These are all little boy flowers. I guess I gotta look again just in case. But when I was out here last, I don't see any little girl blooms. My mint, look, it's still so tall and regal, but something is eating it. Is that what's eating it? Is that a bug? No, that's just a dark patch. But look at those leaves. Oh my gosh. And I have watermelon. I'm gonna do me a watermelon and mint salad. Yes, I am. Here's the strawberries. I don't know much, but is it the flowers that become strawberries? Because I had a bunch of flowers and the petals fell off. But doesn't that look like a strawberry? My Roma plant that's giving me a bunch of little mini Romas. Those are the last two I left on just in case they want to do something different. I tried to hand pollinate some of my bell peppers just to give them a chance. But every time I come out here to see status of what I thought was the beginning of a pepper, they fall off. This is one trying to become a pepper. And that's the one I hand pollinated, so I hope it becomes an actual pepper and doesn't fall off. It's gotten really tall, but something is eating it. Now, my peas back here, I need to just cut these back because something ate them. Something ate them, destroyed them, thinned them out. They were doing so well, but they're pretty bad off now. I think if they were going to flower or produce anything for me, they would have already done it, and nah. So I'm going to cut those back. This is my cucumbers. The flowers haven't opened yet this morning. Maybe it's too early. Maybe it's too early. But this is another one that I had planned on separating into different pots, and well, life got away from me. So I'm going to let nature take its course and see what and if it does anything. My jalapenos. Some beautiful glistening, shining peppers on there. My azalea. Look at this one. This one's coming back too. Look at it. Look at it. Look at all the flowers. Hopefully this will be a hot batch. This is my newest avocado. 2 of them right there. My radishes are trying, guys. They're trying. Look, there's little mushrooms in here. Honestly, this is more growth than I've seen since I've been out here last. It actually looks like a radish leaf. Maybe I'll get 2 or 3 radishes. My patatas are growing tall and proud. I was talking to a lady on the North Texas Gardening Group on Facebook, and she was so proud of her plants. She grew them last season. She grew them and they grew tall and green and vibrant, and then they flowered and died back, and it was time to harvest. She did not have 1 potato. So I'm going to be super sad if that's the case, but I'd rather have no potatoes than rotten mushy potatoes, and with all this rain I'm worried about that. There's my garlic. Do y'all see the web? Where's the spider? I'm terrified of it. And it's building its web across this, because I walked into it yesterday, scared the snot out of me. I don't see the little spider. It's kind of a neat looking thing, but I don't see it. I'm gonna have to make sure that there's no web here before I cross over that way. Well, maybe I don't have to cross over that way. Let's just zoom in. Those are more of my propagated babies from my spider plant. I had rehung those on an actual curtain rod in the same place that I had put them last time, and they fell again. Y'all remember I had that pole stretched out across there and it bent? Well, this one didn't bend. The actual thing I had it hooked up to, the actual bracket I had it hooked up to, is what fell. So once I reattach that, I'm gonna try one more time, and if it falls again, then it ain't just meant to be. It's not meant for this area to be my macrame spot. Over here, the only thing going on here is my one little mango that finally sprouted and two little aloes that are trying to do some good stuff. And this one, I put my fake yellow flowers in there. They were with my jalapenos, but I couldn't monitor my jalapeno growth, so I took them out and stuck them in here with this aloe that something fell on. Poor thing. It was doing really nice before that thing fell on it. Bobo. Bobocito. Bobo. Don't ignore me. Ay, hermoso. While I'm back here, let me see if there's anything frozen. Maybe that's a lack of Freon causing my issues. Maybe I can find my contractor sticker. Something to help me track down these folks. I don't see anything though. Yeah, I looked all around. Get off of my unit. But I don't see any stickers or anything. My last unit had the contractor sticker, but but not this one. Let's see what my herbs are doing. Here's my sage. I finally found some more seeds, remember? And I planted them. It's doing something. Okay, so there's sage. My oregano. My basil seems to be doing the best. Look at that. Look at that basil. Let me pan the yard so y'all can see what is happening out here, because it ain't as pretty as it was. The mulch has leaves and stuff on it. The little walkway has growth coming across it. I told y'all the ridiculousness that is going on that mulched area from the birdseed, right? But I guess I could remove my carrots or plant something else in it. But yeah, I mean, I took the little plastic fences that I had back there because the kitties were knocking them down anyway. I just took them off along the retaining wall, but there's growth out here, guys. There's life. I have beans, and my squashes are doing their squashy best, and strawberries, bell peppers, tomatoes trying to do something. My cucumbers back there trying to do some things. Even my radishes, guys. Even my radishes. My taters are looking lovely. Got my little herb buffet. My little Mexican petunias. They still haven't bloomed. Those aren't going to do anything till June or July. Look at my ferns. With all this rain, they exploded. They're huge. I still haven't loaded my firewood thingy. Ooh, these mosquitoes. Jeez, it's 9 friggin' o'clock. My Easter lilies, I'm going to keep the plants alive as long as I can. My aloe. I just wanted to come out and look around and see what's going on, what needs to be cut back, what needs to be dug up. I keep kicking my little metal pumpkin. I guess I could pick it up. But anywho, I'm going to go inside and see what this vinegar's doing. Okay, so the brine boiled and cooled. Now it's just steaming. I went ahead and set my little jar in a pot of hot water because I don't want any exploding surprises, which isn't going to happen in an actual canning jar, but you never know. So I'm going to pour in. Can I do this through the camera lens? I'm making a mess. Oh gosh, it wasn't enough. Maybe I should mix a little bit more. I just topped it off with a little bit of hot water. I'm going to sprinkle in a little salt for that. And for craps and giggles, I'm going to put in some fresh cracked pepper. I already smell cucumbery goodness. Now they'll sit there until it cools, and then I can put the lid on it, give it a good shake, and put them in the fridge. Okay, guys. I am going to end this little video of ours for today. I'm going to settle in. I need to get back in here in this closet right here and look for my invoice from my air unit so I can figure out who the heck to call to come out here and do a maintenance thing. But that's everything, guys, for today. I'm gonna start creating a mess back here in this closet. I already have a mess right here. Y'all see this right here? That's my kitty cat shelf right here, and this right here is a laundry basket full of my kitty cats. Because right where my kitty cat shelf was is where I noticed the puddle of water. So before my little shelf warps and anything goes awry, I moved everything. And yes, I have a lot of stuff. I have lots and lots of stuff everywhere. But it has a place. This sitting on my sofa is driving me a little twitchy, so I may have to find a spot for this just until they get my air situated. But you guys, I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. If I don't get to see y'all before, well, till another day. But until my next go around, guys, I love y'all bunches. Bye.